You put one of the lanyards on the door?
Which one?
One of the things?
Yeah.
All right. What about a sock?
It was either the sock or a tie. It was either the sock or a tie. I couldn't decide.
It's just does the color of the sock matter? Oh, you already know what it is.
Did it fizzle?
Welcome. Oh, shizzle. I hate myself.
By the way, speaking of all types of...
Green Energy, send the check.
They already do.
I mean, technically they kind of...
And they send a fridge.
Giant fridge over here.
And they send a fridge.
Love it.
Speaking on all of the izzle, rizzle, sizzles,
Dizzle.
jizzle, whoa, pause, family show. Speaking on all that, I think I touched on it on one of the last episodes, but one of the most annoying things is this new fad called rizzing. You heard that?
I have not. I'm not with the shits, man.
I'm not with the shits either. I'm getting deeper and deeper into my elderly age, and I'm trying to disconnect more and more and just kind of focus on not paying attention to things.
Yes.
Which in conjunction goes with getting rid of all the HBO Max and Netflix and all that stuff. I'm trying to get rid of everything. I'm trying to just focus, play PlayStation and Xbox in and out. But I want to read. That's like the biggest thing I want to read. Anyway.
Same. Been saying that for years.
Rizzing is, I think I did it with Andre on the live video. That's probably why. So audio listeners probably have no clue about that because I never put the live stream audio onto my podcast site.
Okay. Do I have to keep my clothes on?
You do for now. Later on, I mean, once you finish the whole rain, there's something else in there. But anyway.
It's fizzing an extra amount right now.
It's the white gummy bear.
Hey.
But rizzing is like being a player with girls, and everybody.
That's like a phrase.
Yeah, some YouTuber, and I think he's from New York. He's the one who coined that phrase, rizzing, and so now you'll see all over TikTok. You'll notice it now that you. Now that I'm telling you, it's like when I tell you, oh, would you ever get a red car? And you're like, I don't know if I could see myself in a red car, and then you just see all you see is red cars. Like, yes, there's a lot of fucking red cars.
100%.
Rizzing, you'll see it in the comment section of a ton of fucking videos. Just, King Riz. Oh, this dude's the Riz. So I had to trademark everything. I've been buying up websites because I know that people are going to start using that. Rizzle.com is not available. It's a different site. It's not anything to do with that. I forget, to be honest with you. I forget what it's almost like a actual, I believe it's a video platform site, ironically. Rizzle.com.
That is pretty ironic.
Yeah, look. Engage better with videos. Convert text. Crazy.
So is this like a interactive video feed? Is this like an automated, what in the hell?
I don't know what it does. Get in touch. I don't want to get in touch. There's 8+ million creators on Rizzle. There's only one missing. This guy.
The Rizzle.
The Nicky Rizzles, who's been called Nicky Rizzle since 08,
probably
07.
Forever.
Yeah. Actually, probably before then.
Majority of your life that you can remember.
6+ billion views on Instagram Reels. What does that mean? I don't understand. It's AI-based. These fucking AIs. AI-based one-touch video creation. Choose from thousands of templates to create video. I'm really plugging this fucking things.
I mean, what are your thoughts on AI?
I think...
Since we're both in the space.
So for digital...
I have my thoughts on it, but
so for digital creation, you're saying, for artificial intelligence. I think that there's always going to be a niche for it. I think there's going to be... So like for captions for videos. Let's put it that way. I use AI captions,
that is
the app.
Worst thing ever.
What?
Transcribing anything.
Exactly. Before we had all this, and we had to
manually go
and only
in.
like a couple of years ago too, you had to manually type out every fucking word a client was saying. It was actually
time change. If you wanted to, God forbid, you had white text and you wanted to like make the text yellow when it came through to like highlight what they were saying, so somebody who could potentially be visually impaired is like, oh, you're like they can't hear very well or whatever the case is. Auditory impairment.
Not an audiologist.
I'm also not a doctor, so whatever. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, to make it more visually appealing to someone who is probably hard of hearing. Like, God forbid you ever want to do something like that. And then you're like, you'll get your 30-second video in 6 months because fuck this.
So when the first time I ever had to, and we'll get back to the AI topic, but the first time that I I actually had to write out captions was when I went to the Arnold with Kai. And if anybody in the fitness space knows Kai talks to a lot of people that wait a long time to see him.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the pluses and pluses for fans and for Kai, because he's awesome, is he spends a lot of time with fans. The minus, though, is that I have every single interaction.
He spends a lot of time with fans.
I have every single interaction. I got like a 2 to 4 minute at least conversation with every single person. You're sitting there, you're like
hundreds.
And you're sitting there and you're like, yo, this is gold. Like he's talking about gold right now. So you go back to the editing room.
Yeah.
To create some micro content to start posting over the next couple of days while you're away at one of these shows. And you're sitting there and you're typing out everything he's saying, and you look at the clock and you just go, wow, it's been 45 minutes and I'm like 30 seconds in.
Love it.
It's insane.
Love that.
And then to add emojis and do all that. No. So artificial intelligence, I think it has such a good place for things like that.
Yeah.
I think when you get into, I shouldn't even say I think, when you get into client-based work, I know that there are going to be a lot of people that think, well, I don't need to hire somebody. I don't need to hire a videographer. I don't need to hire a photographer. I don't need to hire an editor or a sound designer. I could have artificial intelligence take care of this entire project. And in some cases you can. In certain aspects, there are definitely case-by-case uses for something like that. But it doesn't replace a human. This is really what separates humans from, I guess, artificial and computerized beings.
Yeah.
Is that you have that.
There's a human element. I think I know.
A human element, like a soul. You got a soul behind it. Like there's a care that it's going to be bad or good. Like you want. I want my work to shine.
Yeah.
If I shoot something and it looks like shit, I'm sweating when I'm editing. It's happened a couple of times, man. You sweat.
Oh,
I know you're looking at it.
I'm sure we can exchange some horror stories.
You sit there and you're watching the footage and you're just sitting there going, God damn, this is not what I envisioned. And this is not the way that I thought this was going to turn out.
Yeah.
So start feeling the beads of sweat hit. Computer don't give a fuck about that. They don't care. They're just going to pump out the content. Here's what you asked for. And we did it the best we could with the script that we were given and the code that was written into us.
Yeah.
So
I think having some sort of human element to any sort of creation, whatever that art, we'll just call it art because that's what it is.
It is art.
Even though it's a very subjective thing, having some sort of computerized or human element to it is super important. Obviously, like you're saying, like there's a feeling behind it. There's a risk reward factor behind it. But on the flip side of that coin, I think when it comes to like large batch content creation, and for those people who don't know what batch content is, like let's say you come in for 2, 3, 4 days, you create a ton of shit, and then you just send all of it uploaded into this thing, and then you get just like hundreds of pieces of content that are formatted for different, for Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever. Like that's cool. I mean, I'm not really going to do anything like that with what I do with photo and video, but also I was more like, that's great. Yeah, there is a place for it, I think, 1,000%, because obviously, like, there's a ton of automated things that happen in the programs and softwares that we use.
Yeah.
Masking things, like object removal.
Yeah, there's already AI built
there's,
in.
like, amazing stuff that I use, like, more often than I'd like to admit. But I just meant in terms of creating something from nothing. Like, going in and, like, typing in... Salvador Dali style cat jumping over a moon that's made of cheese. And it just like kicking out an image like that.
Yeah.
And then you can refine something like that. And the next thing you know, you could get that, pay for like a high quality thing, have it printed on a canvas, maybe go over it and paint it if you have somebody like that, or you're someone who can have that capability or know someone to do that, and sell it for thousands of dollars. And then you got people out there who are like spending years of their life learning, going to art school, learning how to do all this stuff. And I think that that's a giant conversation that's happening right now where it's just like, oh, it's going to replace all these people and this is bullshit because
there's always
this
a
person
worry.
has done this
There's
stuff.
always a worry in the artistic type community and creative fields, logo design, graphic design, art, everything that we do technically, all of it's art. But there's always... He's fixing the can. That's awesome. Rain logo out. But there's always...
people sell out, man. Junk. Thank you.
There's always a thought process that you're going to be replaced. Whether that's working with a specific client and there's another creator that they start working with, or whether there's... And we all...
fucking started.
Yeah, man. Like there's always a feeling of that. So you want to... you know that you're putting your heart behind things. And that, I guess, is the plus side and the benefit when you're going human versus just a computerized being.
Yeah.
I don't want to just say AI because, like, I feel like I know that there's more to it than just that. Like, yeah,
Well,
it's artificial intelligence.
It's ones and zeros at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Like,
it's
it is what that's
what,
cool. That's
what is it? What do they call that? Binary.
Binary.
Yeah, binary code, and I think it's going to be interesting to see where it goes in the next 5 to 10 years, and how much it's going to aid us in our jobs and take some of the stress off of the things that we do, because it already takes a lot off.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't realize, and I've said this numerous times. I feel like I say that all the time. Like,
What goes into what we do?
They have no idea.
Is that what you're going to say?
They have no idea what goes into what we do. And it's so difficult with a lot of the things that we do, not only on the content creation side, but we are looked at, and I've said this on my Instagram story, and I got a lot of messages from people. So here's the official cut that I'm going to use on social clips.
And
okay?
I will chime in as well.
When you hire somebody that is a videographer, photographer, cinematographer, they have all their own lighting equipment. They know how to do audio, podcasting, audio design. They know how to work a drone. They know how to rig up a set as good as they can as a one-man bandwagon and operation. And they know how to take the conceptual idea that you have for the content, because most of the time, you can speak on it, and I'll let you. Most of the time, clients don't know what the fuck they want. They have no idea.
1000%.
And when you have this intro conversation with them, a lot of the time they go, well, I just know that I have to put content out there. I just don't know what I need to do. So now I'm a content strategist. Now I'm a content planner. And then they don't know where or how to distribute the content. So now I'm a social media manager as well. I have to tell you how to plan, how to post the content, what sites and what social sites it needs to go on, what times you need to post it all to try to get it, trends, what hashtags are popping off, all on top of me being able to shoot with all of that given in, and I haven't even touched on the editing aspect. Editing, sound design for the editing itself, color grading. Am I missing something on that side?
Not really.
No, so yeah, I mean that's all kind of
formatting things properly.
But that's
for
probably
the right things.
Yeah, but that's exactly, formatting it in terms of like the width and the height, whether it's just YouTube content,
properly.
exporting.
Yeah.
So back in the day, you would have to hire.
Oh, you're looking at 10 different jobs probably if you include. So you include shooting, whether that's photo, video. That's 2 separate entities there. And then you have like data management or file management. So that's another thing with big productions. Like they have teams that handle file management, first backup, second backup, a reserve, a working drive. So that's 3 different things right there. Then you have your editing, which is another job. Then you have your coloring, which is another job. Exporting kind of goes with coloring, not really a thing. But then outside of that, you have your accounting, you have your marketing, you have your own, you have your
social posting for yourself.
Exactly. You have your social management, you have your
accounts receivable and your which is billing and invoicing, but then you also have purchasing of gear, keeping up with trends, so
managing yourself, managing your time.
Yeah.
So brand outreach.
Yeah, man. So it's, it winds up being a ton. I was trying to explain this to my mom, and we were having a conversation just of how things can be a little bit more streamlined, because I work with so many different people across so many different avenues. And then all of this plus the podcast, my own distribution of all my own content. And the podcast takes the back seat when I have client work to do. So it just kind of is what it is. So back to the topic of these jobs and all of these jobs and how you would have had to have hired all these people individually back in the day.
Yeah.
You have the benefit of having somebody
one-stop shop
that is a one-stop shop, but you want to pay them for one job.
You want to pay them jack shit.
You want to pay them jack shit and for one job.
So tell me.
And listen, I talk to a lot of other videographers too.
Yeah.
And guys that do what we do
Same.
across the field. A lot of guys ask me, what should I charge? What should I do? How do I expand? And I tell them the most honest feedback. Bro, you need to up your prices. You cannot be taken seriously if you're still doing shoots for $200 in a gym. And there's a point where that intro price eclipses itself. And now you're looked at as cheap goods and just bumping out content and somebody and something to take advantage of.
Yeah. And that's, dude, the value that you place on yourself, it's one of those, it's almost like a fake it till you make it situation where it's like, yeah, I value my work at this price. And like that's that. It's like you don't go to a Ferrari dealership and like talk them down off of like a $250,000 car.
You mean you don't do that? You don't go to Ferrari? You don't go to Ferrari
Well, maybe
and
like
say,
249. But
and
like,
and say, the car is 300,000. I think it's worth 300,000.
However, I'm only going to pay 150.
I only got 100, 150. Damn, deep pockets. I only got 100.
No,
so
that's not going to happen.
So when can we make this happen? And the dude's going to look at you and be like, "Crazy, the door's right behind you. Get the fuck out."
Exactly. And
so to haggle, and Jamal has touched on this as well. When somebody comes to you as a client, there is no way that you're going to sit there and tell somebody what they should be charging.
No.
You came to me for a project, for some type of a return
a need.
on the need for the business.
Supply and demand. You have something that you need,
and I have the means and ability
to give that thing to you. I can satiate those needs, not sexually, or maybe.
I mean, the rent's due in a couple weeks, man.
Hey. Same. But no, I can satiate that need, and so again, kind of going off what you're saying is you're going to come to me and you need something, and I'm a one-stop shop. So tell me why in the fuck you're going to tell me I'll give you $500 to do $5,000 worth of work.
Yeah.
And it's because those people who don't know how to charge for their work, don't know where to value
the fake
themselves.
Standard.
Exactly. And clout chasing. Mm-hmm. They're going to do something for little to no money. And I have a really good friend, Ginny Coleman, very, very talented sports photographer, who touches on this weekly, if not daily. I actually reposted some of her stuff today about that. She did a survey with creatives, and it was talking about where they think a fair value is for a day rate. And then she did a breakdown of travel expenses, everything, and talking about like, oh, if you charge $750 a day over the course of like 3 days a weekend, you're losing X amount of money. And if you charge $1,000 a day, you're losing X amount of money. And it's like you have all these people who are going out and shooting for free and delivering content to people unwarranted, unasked, just for the fuck of it, just to like get posted, maybe get some followers, and possibly in return get the opportunity to get paid work from them. But that is the reason why people like yourself and myself and other people who properly value themselves and have been doing this for long enough and are true professionals at every instance of the word, that is why we are getting the rug pulled out from under us, because these people are coming in and doing these sorts of things. And of course, like, we're going to get ours. There's enough to go around. It's not like, oh, well, like, I'm going to, whatever. It's not like an arrogance thing by any means, but it's like when it's one of those situations almost where it's like one bad apple or like one bad egg like ruins it for the entire thing. Because it's like you're going to go to these people and be like, hey, or they're going to come to you and say, what would you charge for this? And you're going to say, all right, I'm going to charge 5 G's for this. And like, oh, well, fucking Joe Blow down the street said he'll do it for $500. And it's like, I always use this analogy for everyone. It's like a tattoo. You're going to get what you pay for. You get a homie tattoo out of the basement, it's going to look like a homie tattoo out of the basement.
Yep.
You go spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, whatever on a tattoo, you're going to have a beautiful piece of art. And that's what I tell my clients. It's like, how serious do you take yourself? Because I take myself pretty fucking serious when it comes to this. Like, I'm not only trying to put food on the table, I'm trying to recover costs for tens of thousands of dollars in gear that I've had. And like the time, effort, and energy, when we go to the shoot and we leave, your job is done. I'm going to have 20, 30, 40 more hours into this, and you're going to pay me as if my job ended the day that we left each other? Come on now. The fuck out of here, man.
Yep. Chris Doe always
Love
uses
that guy.
The fucking home. He reposted me when I shouted him out on the podcast.
No,
reposted me, and I was like a little girl, man. I was amped as shit, man. I was like, God damn, that's sick.
That's thick.
That's thick.
That's thick.
Put your tongue through that hole, girl. Drewski shout out.
Are you saying suck, thuck, or fuck?
Fuck. Go look at Drewski's page on TikTok. He's got a lot of very funny videos. Anyway, Chris Doe has used the analogy before when you're talking about comparing prices and somebody says, oh, well, so-and-so will do it for $500. And you respond to them and basically say, at the same quality that I'm doing, if so, let me get their number because I got a lot of work for them. It's perfect.
I've seen that video.
I'd love to export some of that work to them.
I've seen
500, I'll still be up. Great, take it.
Yeah.
Take the work, bro.
Yeah.
And then when you get slaved out and you feel like there's no recovering any part of your life, and you're exhausted and you're burnt to the ground like we've all been
Facts.
far too many times,
Yeah.
and you realize I'm getting whored out because I'm cheap and people don't take me seriously.
I mean, that's literally, you were the definition of getting whored out. You're
Literally.
a creative prostitute.
Yep.
We're coining that
Yeah,
phrase
dude. A creative prostitute.
right now.
Yep.
Getting T-shirts and stickers and sticking them on people's backs. Keep a lookout for that.
It's a camera slut.
Yeah.
So when you deal with all of that, and then you realize it, let me up my shit. Well, you're gonna
Too late.
You're gonna too late. Number one, number two, you're gonna start losing those. Excuse me, the rains make me burpy. You're gonna start losing the people that you were banking on.
Yeah.
But in return, you get the clients that are taking you seriously, and that's the beauty of it. The amount of people that I thought I'd be working with long term, because we had such good relationships, and once I told them, "Yo, bro, it ain't cutting it anymore,"
Yep.
I'm off of that. I'm off of those hoe prices. I really am. I'm off of that. Dogging me out, fucking constantly hitting me up. Hey, Nick, I need an Instagram video, but I also need a YouTube video. But I also need like a little 30-second promo to promote the YouTube video on Instagram.
Hey,
but the
guess
other
what?
Instagram video has to be separate. And I need a thumbnail edited. It's like,
And then guess what? I want you to follow me around every single day for 6 hours for 9 days.
yeah. Oh, okay. Sick, man.
Tight.
So like 20 G's? What?
I'll
No,
give
the
you
budget's like 500.
$750. Yeah.
Dude, it's
We've
just
heard it.
It's
of
crazy,
time
man.
and
It's
so
just
many
crazy. I haven't ever hit up a real logo designer because I don't want to. I don't have the funds like in my brain. I have the funds, but I don't have the funds that I'd like to put into it and can stomach it because I know it'll be thousands and thousands to get a solid rebrand of Rizzles Productions.
Got a trivia question for you.
And you can hit me up 1 second. 2 seconds. Oh, don't count me down. Because I want to give that person what they are owed for the time that they spend on it.
100%.
Just as I would expect if they hit me up, hey Nick, I want to do a cool hype video for like my making logos and this and that, and we plan it all out. And we make this fire little sizzle reel shit like that. I know that when it comes time to tell them, hey yo, it's going to be X amount of dollars, they go done because they're in the creative space and they understand the amount of thought, work, effort, and just after the job is done and the cameras stop rolling, how much more work there is.
Oh, yeah.
It's just being realistic with everything, and I think that's one of the big things. And trivia question.
That is the biggest thing, is being realistic. Which is why I like to challenge. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I get kickback from. So many people, and I've worked with only I can count on one hand how many people I've worked with for nearly a decade doing this, because we both kind of like started from the bottom, and they were like, hey, I can only afford this, and I'm like, hey, I don't think I'm very good, so like let's do this shit. And then as they grew in their profession, I also grew in my profession, and we both just kind of like were on the come up together, and it's awesome, and we still have that relationship. So it's really easy to have that open dialogue of like, it's going to be this much money, and they're like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking sure. Like, what were you thinking? And then they'll come back and it's just like, well, why? And 9 times out of 10, they're like, well, this person over here said that they would do it for this. And I'm like, yeah, but like, what is that person bringing to the table? And like, what's the quality? Okay, they're going to charge half for a quarter of the quality of what I can do. Do you want to sell this fucking property in this multi-million-dollar mansion like in the first week? Not guaranteeing that, but it happens a ton. Or do you want it to just like sit on the market for a while, and then you were now scrambling, and you're like, oh well, fuck, I should have just measured twice and cut once instead of going back and having to like have something redone. Because guess what? When you come back to me the second time to redo it and fix someone's fuck up, I'm gonna charge you double, and I'm not gonna take no for an answer. So then you can maybe go back to them again if you don't. I've had that happen 3 times in my career, where they blew me off for someone cheaper. They came back to me crying like a fucking dog with a tail between their legs and said, hey, they fucked this up. Can you fix it? I can give you their footage. And I said,
I don't want that shit.
Absolutely
I don't want
not.
that shit.
Absolutely not. And I said, it's going to cost you double. And they're like, oh, you were serious? Fuck yeah, I'm serious. Because just as serious as you take your business, I take your business, and I also take myself.
Yeah.
And what I'm capable of doing. So what's good?
So funny interaction recently. So there was the people that are going to hear this, they're going to know instantly who they are.
Good.
It is what it is. I truly don't give a fuck. I keep it real. I think everybody knows that at this point. So I had bumped into them, and they invited me into their office, people that I used to shoot for.
Okay.
And they invited me into their office because they had just gotten a new space.
Seeing if I can figure this out while you're telling me.
I'll tell you afterwards. It don't
That's
matter. I'm not going to blow people up on the air, but like, if they hear it, they'll know what's up, and you'll know my feelings on the situation. So they invited me into their office, talking to me, and I'm telling them I need more space. Oh, well, maybe we can do it here. And one of the partners was saying, oh, we don't have enough room here, which is cool. I would never, ever share space, my space, where I'm going to be working with other clients, doing my podcast, housing all of my gear with a company that I shoot for. I would never do that.
Or with anybody in general.
I need separate. It has to be separate. Separate home and state. I need it. Just
Absolutely.
Get out of here. So they show me, they're like, oh, this is our podcast room, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Sick, man. Like, show me the room. And I said to them, I said, well, you're going to want to paint the walls, get a different color. Because, like, I didn't have the option in this because everyone's going to look then at my walls because they're white.
You didn't paint the fucking walls.
Yeah, I didn't paint the walls. I didn't have the option when I moved into here, and then by the time I moved all my shit in here, it wasn't worth it to drag everything back out and then paint it and bring everything back in. There was no time, whatever. So my next space, I'm going to paint the room the color that I want. So one of the partners goes, "Oh yeah, what do you think I should paint it?" And then the other partner said, "Oh well, we're going to call him Chad." The video
fucking
guy,
Chad.
The video guy they use now.
Sounds like a Chad.
I mean, I don't know the person. I don't care. I've shown there's no bad blood. Like, I don't give a fuck. It so doesn't matter to me. Like, I just don't care. But this irked me. So the other partner goes, "Oh well, Chad said that we need to paint the room." So I'm like, there you go. So you got a guy that's telling you this. So the other one goes, "Oh no, Nick. Like, what do you think?" Nah, bro. You guys don't use me for videos anymore. Hit up Chad. Like, you guys are good. You don't need me.
Oh,
hit him up.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. Don't worry about it. And I'm walking out. And he's like, well, what do you think? I don't think anything. Pay the man who you're working with to tell you and give his advice. Don't ask me. Why? Because I podcast. Why? Because I do my own shit and everyone sees how much work I put into my own shit on the side of my real business. And now you want to come to me for help? No. The person that you are hiring and working with, you do that. We're good.
Yeah.
So I just find it funny. There are other people that have wanted to jump on the podcast. This is like a rant fest now of just like shit that irritates me in my creative field.
Let's go.
I haven't even introduced you yet. This is Josh, by the way.
Camera 1. Camera 2.
Yeah.
Camera 1. Camera 2.
This is my boy Josh. I want to talk about how we met years ago. He's a creative as well. Does a lot of other things. Has done a lot of other things in life. A lot of different life paths in one soul. Pretty cool. But
thank you.
I'll finish up on this one.
Yeah.
Oh my God, who was it? So people hit me up all the time. They go, "I want to come on the podcast. I would love to talk about the business. Come on, blah, blah, blah." I said, "I would love for you to come promote your business and talk. But then you go and use somebody else for videos." The invite's retracted. I don't have fake people on my podcast.
That's going to be a no for me, dog.
Yeah. So let me get this straight. You as a grown-ass man and a business owner, you want to go on someone's podcast to promote and stroke your own dick. Promote your own shit.
Yeah.
And stroke your ego.
Yeah.
You want to go on their podcast, but you don't use them for videos. And primarily, you've used them in the past, but primarily it's pricing.
Is this still the same?
No, different people.
Okay.
Different.
Okay.
So you are confused as to why you haven't gotten an invite back on the show? Like to come on? Crazy. Crazy, man. Fucking crazy. Delusional. It's crazy to me.
It's so crazy because it's
just a common respect thing.
It's transactional. Your interactions are transactional.
And it's a common respect thing. I go on vibes, dude. I'm big on vibes. That's why a lot of people fuck with me.
Big energy guy.
I really am. I know. And we joke about it, and the joking and the seriousness is kind of hand in hand.
Yeah.
Because I'm dead serious. I'm so vibey, and I go off energy. Like, if I don't fuck with somebody, I can't be around you. Like, I can't pretend to enjoy the time that we spend together.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the podcast. There's been a ton of people that have hit me up to try to come on the podcast, and I'm cool with having anybody on. You could have 5 million followers, active, like ready to roll, boost my shit like crazy. If you're an asshole and I don't like you,
Bye.
I don't want you on. Yeah. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to fake a conversation for an hour and a half, hour. Like, it doesn't work for me. And I think that has also propelled me in business because I don't allow the money to cloud my judgment on who I want to be with, partnered with creatively, working-wise, podcast-wise. I've kept that energy clean.
Yeah, you're not selling your soul just to make a buck.
Yeah. Like, I posted that video of, God, what is his name? He used to have the podcast with Joe Budden. What is his name? Morrow, something like that. I forget his name. Anyway, he was just talking. He's like, yo, fuck getting a bag. I don't need to get a bag. I can get a bag anywhere. I am about energy. I'm about people that treat me with respect, that want me around, that are going to treat me right. That's what I'm about. I can get money anywhere. Yeah. And it's so true.
Yeah, I agree. It's having people in your corner that you ride with, that you fuck with, you know, that are going to respect and value who you are, not only as a professional, but tenfold as a person. Because if they value you as a person, then anything you get into, any sort of endeavor, anything like that, they're going to fuck with it. And it's like, all right, if our friendship is transactional, if you make me feel replaceable, like, why the fuck am I going to keep you around? Because all that's going to do is drain me of my energy. And then next thing you know, we start just digging a hole into like, which, I mean, we can go off on, well, I'm sure we will at some point, into this, you know, mental health category where it's like, okay, and then you start looking in the mirror and taking a more introspective look on yourself. And you're like, well, fuck, is this all I'm worth? Is this who I am now? Is this like, have I somehow made a sequence of decisions that has led me down this path where like, these are the people that I ride with? Do I? Like, then it's just a giant confusion pit at that point. And you're just like, well, I don't even know who the fuck I am, what I'm doing, where I'm headed, and which direction to go. And that's a big thing we can talk about.
My man just opened a can of worms on the table.
Dude, yes, for real.
It's crazy because I don't think people understand that side of the business for us. They really don't. They don't understand how much the mental aspect, everything. It's such a mental game, man. And I want to get into you. I want to get into your background. I do. But I'll finish off on this.
Finish for me.
Okay. If Kenji was here, I'd be like, don't even get to stress the dog out.
Oh, my God. Great story.
I think that I got to stop saying I think that because it's just not, I don't think, I know. I know that creatives everywhere feel this when they open up their Instagram and they pop into Reels. And because the algorithm knows that they're a creator, you don't get to see content that you're interested in. You see all other creators circle jerking each other and hopping on trends and showboating a color grade. But it's not like when I do it, it's going to sound fucked up like I'm not trying to stroke my own shit. But like when I do it, I'm really not doing it with the thought of going viral. I'm doing it to stay updated and somewhat relevant with people that actually follow me. Agreed. I'm not looking at this like a gold mine of I'm going to post this reel, it's going to blow up, and I'm going to get... Bro, I don't care. Yeah. I could get 4 fucking likes. It don't matter to me.
Yeah, you're still posting it because you love doing it.
Exactly. I will notice everybody that doesn't like my shit and how I reciprocate love to their work or their posts, and I don't get it in return.
Yep.
And I won't give that in the future engagement.
Yeah.
But it's such a fucking head trip to constantly see other creators work. What are you looking at?
I thought I heard a camera noise.
Oh. No, we're good.
Just want to make sure they were both on.
Yeah, no, we Gucci. It's such a head trip to know and to see other creators. You're bombarded constantly with all of these different creators, and X is doing this, and XY is doing that, and it's like, and he's working with him now, and you just sit there, and it's so hard not to be not only envious and jealous, but it's so hard to just stay in your own lane, just be like, yo, I'm working on my shit. My shit's clean. I'm honing my own style, this and that. But then you see all the likes on that post, you go, should I jump on that type of style bandwagon? Like, is that what's getting hired now?
Yeah.
There's a lot more to this than just, let me point my camera at you, take some video, and go home and edit it and make it into a cool video.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Say that one more time for all the people in the back.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Clip right there. Done. That's it. That's all you need.
Dude, it's a self-destructive path that literally leads to a mental breakdown. It sucks. And I agree with everything you're saying. You and I mean, we chop it up every week pretty much. We were on the phone talking about something or showing, hey, I'm doing this. What do you think of this gear or our process? We've talked about it today. You know, we're at the house. But it's like Dude, people just, like you said, just jerking each other off. And it's like these cliques of people in these industries, whether it's like bodybuilding, fitness, brands, or like what, like every
CrossFit.
Fuck, don't even get me started on CrossFit, dude. I will.
Wild.
I won't like name anybody, but there is so much circle jerking going on in the CrossFit space.
Yeah.
And especially where it's like people will come in because CrossFit doesn't regulate like fans coming in with cameras. You can come in with a fucking pro setup, 100 to 400 lens on there, and like snipe athletes on the floor. Go run back to your hotel or fucking grab your iPad or go on your phone and edit some shit up real quick, and it's gonna look good.
Yeah.
And guess what? The people who are busting their ass for 10, 12, 14 hours a day, who are like waking up at 5 a.m. to catch the early morning stuff and not going to bed until midnight, 1 o'clock, doing that for 5 days.
And editing.
They can't, yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, they can't get that shit out. But these athletes are getting shit for free, unwarranted, in hopes that, like, the creators are hoping that they post something, and then they just get, clout chasing, man. Mm-hmm. It's fucking bullshit. But then you see people that are doing that who are shitty people, who are just, like, drinking the Kool-Aid and just, like, fucking blowing everybody, that are getting all these jobs. It fucking happens.
Yeah.
That are, like, legitimately people that are just, like, fucking to get to the top. And I know people that are doing that. So it's like they're doing this, and they're still just, like, selling more pieces of themselves to gain more pieces and more access to, like, these bigger and better things. And you see that, and you're like, this person fucking sucks as a person. Mm-hmm. And they could be a stellar creator. But if I ain't trying to, like, hang out with you afterwards, like, I don't want none of that. And why would a client want something like that? Like, I've heard so many people that are like, yeah, this person's a fucking asshole, but like they do good work. It's just like, I don't give a shit. I'd rather work with someone who's like half the skill level and is like cool to be around with because I'm going to be more comfortable in front of the camera, so on and so forth, whatever. But it's like there's so many people out there that are just like shitty people that are getting this play from brands, companies, people, events, whatever the case is. And again, like, we're looking at that, trying to stay in our own lane, kind of have the blinders on, work on our craft, perfect our process, and just 1% better every day. And we try and take that, but then over here on the side, it's almost like the little devil and the angel on your shoulder just saying, like, oh, but, like, they're doing all this stuff, and, like, you're not doing it. And then, like, the other one's like, no, like, stay the course, stay the path. Like, everything's going to be cool. Yep. And then,
do
you
more
got
whip pans.
Yeah, do more whip pans, teal and orange, and blah, blah, all the shit. You got to watch everything.
Put some overlays on it.
You got to watch everything that Sam Colder does. Come on. Like,
put some overlays on it. Do it.
Like, come on. It's
buy a Tropic Color pack.
Oh, my God. It's very self-destructive, the bottom line. It's self-destructive to a point where it's like really dangerous and like really sad.
Puts you in a mental hole.
It's really sad. And
puts you in a mental hole.
Yeah, we can definitely get into that, but it's a very emotional thing to like do what we do because you're putting a piece of yourself, at least I do, and I know you do as well.
It's a fingerprint of everything that you do.
Yes, that is a very beautiful way to put it. There is a piece of you in everything that you create, whether it's big, small, reels, YouTube, movie, whatever. There's a piece of you in everything that you create. So it's like you're slowly like giving a piece of yourself to these people, to these companies, to these brands, to these whatever. And how do you replenish the things that you're giving away? I think is like a very big question. And it's like, all right, well, if you're getting work to the fucking bone all the time, then how are you making time for yourself to be able to like treat yourself okay, like treat yourself nice and like dig yourself out of that hole? It's like something that a lot of people don't know how to do. And up until probably like 3 or 4 years ago, like I didn't know how to do anything like that. I was just working my fucking ass off all the time. Yeah, trying to make money, but like traveling and enjoying some things, but never taking a second to like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, I'm putting on for everybody. I'm so happy, but I'm so fucking lonely at the same time.
And miserable, yeah, man.
And I've, like, never felt so alone in my fucking life in some of these moments. Like, I can be around so many people, be around millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people, whatever, and still feel like I'm the only fucking person around and just feel so lonely and helpless and like I'm never going to be able to pull myself out of this. And I see everybody who's so happy, and I see everybody who is like just thriving in their lives, even if it just looks like they're thriving. Like I see everybody who is just doing the things that I wish I could be doing for myself, and maybe they have a partner, or they're married, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever the case is, and I'm just looking at this going, dude, I'm so green with envy. I just want to hang from a fucking rafter. And I know that's really extreme, but it's like there's people out there who feel that way. Friends of mine currently now who feel like that, where I call them probably not as often as I should, but often enough, I feel like. I mean, it's not every day, so I can be better about that. But I call them, like, you doing all right? They're like, no, not really. I'm like, all right, well, let's talk. I mean, we've had conversations like that too, man.
We have.
And it's like something as small as like, hey, if you need anything, I'm here type of thing. Or like, hey, just want you to know, like, you're loved and appreciated and valued. Whatever that looks like for that person, whether it's a creative career, just as a human being, as a mother, as a father, aunt, uncle, son, whatever the case is, just letting people know that, like, hey, I hear you and I understand that you're struggling with something. And even if I don't know the right words to say, I can still be a sounding board for you and listen to the things that you have to say. Because at the end of the day, not everyone can afford therapy. Fuck, I can't afford therapy right now.
Therapy's expensive as shit, man.
Yeah, I can't afford therapy right now, but I have people like you, my mom, other friends that listen to, it may sound like, to me, because I'm so hard and critical on myself, it just sounds like I'm just whining about everything. But at the same time, even just having a small conversation or even something like this with somebody and just saying like, dude, I'm just not okay.
Yeah.
I can't articulate my thoughts and I can't put it into words, but like, I'm just not okay. Come hang.
Yeah.
Or just sit on FaceTime with me and fucking
we chill,
watch
bro.
this movie
Laugh,
with me.
fucking
Do
TikToks
nothing.
and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, like something like that goes a long way in terms of like saving somebody's life.
Yeah, man. I understand. I understand all that. It all hits home. You know, we've all had peaks and valleys of careers and things that we do and whatnot. The last, for those that know, I had surgery in June for literally butt surgery. It was literally, there's no way around it. It's called an anal fistula. It's fucking disgusting, and it can happen to anyone. And it's just a swollen sweat gland, and that's all it takes. And it creates a huge abscess pocket on the inside of your butt cheek, and it is miserable. And you can't walk, and you can barely breathe without it hurting, and it's constantly draining, and it fucks with you mentally. Like, dude, I moved into my apartment, and my confidence in May. My confidence was through the roof.
Oh, I know.
And then Kenji had a seizure. My confidence went down a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then I had this surgery in June, and my confidence went down a little bit again. And then after the surgery, throughout June, July-ish, I felt good. I didn't feel great, but I had to get back to work and doing my thing because no one's going to make money if I'm not out there hustling and working with clients and doing my thing. Mm-hmm. And then from August until December, it was probably the busiest I've ever been. Between trips, between clients, between just everything. It was non-fucking stop. And I had to have a second surgery, and I didn't get to have that second surgery until last month.
Because?
What?
Why didn't you have a second surgery?
Why? Mm-hmm. What do you mean why?
Like, why was it
prolonged? Oh, because they had to take the draining string out. Oh, because I was working so much. That's what you mean.
That's the point that I'm trying to make.
Oh, that's what you mean.
That's the point that I'm trying to make.
My fault. I thought you meant, like, why did I need two?
No.
My bad.
No.
Stupid.
I know that.
So,
but it goes back to...
But, like, yeah, dude, I'm traveling to Cali 3 times, Dubai, fucking Ohio, Salt Lake City. Like, I'm going...
And you physically need something.
Miami. And I need to physically have surgery. And instead, I'm just putting gauze in my butt every single day. And fuck it, we deal with it later. Because... we got to make the money now. We got to make the money now. Yeah. We got to keep grinding because we don't want our clients to potentially work with somebody else. And you have to keep that mental sharpness going. And to talk about like the mental side of things of this career path and what we do, like I go on these trips. Now there are some creators that block out time. There are some creators that extend trips and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I just don't have the ability to do that. Yeah. When I go on a trip, I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have anybody to watch Kenji. And because of his epilepsy and the seizures that he's going through and whatnot, he needs his pills every 12 hours. So it's 8 a.m., 8 p.m. He needs his pills. And he gets emotional if I'm not around.
Yeah.
So I need somebody that I can trust with him. So my mom is a godsend because if she did not watch Kenji, I'd be fucked.
Yeah.
So
I have a similar situation.
Well, yeah, with the cat. So with Xena. So when I go on these trips, all I hear when I get back are people that go, yo, you're so lucky you got to go there.
Shit.
You're so lucky you got to do that. It's amazing that you get to travel for your job. Without question, I'm very fortunate that I'm able to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And that the clients that I work with pay for the travel and do all that.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't be any other way. I wouldn't go on these trips if they didn't.
No.
If I had to pay for the trip, I wouldn't go. Like, it doesn't make sense for me to cut profit out of my job and money out of my side of things.
And time.
and
Or
time.
you could be making money.
Here
Yeah.
and easily.
Yeah.
So I'll give you, and I've given this example to a lot of people. When I go to when I went to Dubai with Kai, I left at 11 p.m. on a Wednesday night, New York time. I landed in Dubai 9 p.m. Dubai time Thursday. I lost a full day. By the time I got to the hotel, it was like 11:30 at night. Went to sleep. Woke up the next morning. So now it's Friday morning. Got to the gym with Kai at 7 a.m. He did his hour of cardio. He ate, trained. We got back to the hotel at 12:31. We went to the expo at 2 o'clock. We didn't stop until 6:30, 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Went back to the hotel room, offloaded the footage, went back to the gym until 1 in the morning. We did this for 3 days straight. And Sunday, when I left, we did the gym thing, and then I left Sunday night to go to the airport for a 2 a.m. flight Monday morning, straight from the gym.
No, that ain't it.
And I
dog.
took a 14-hour flight back. So when somebody says, so lucky you get to see these places, this and that, it's cool.
Cool.
I
Tight.
do get to see these places, but I don't get to take them in.
It ain't like
I'm
that.
taking them in on a screen this big. And when I'm not filming, I'm editing. And when I'm not editing, I'm sleeping.
Woof.
So
That hits.
now let's talk
hits.
now let's talk about just that. So months of doing that and just overworking myself.
Yeah.
And then just going crazy. Had the surgery in January. Did good. Felt fine the day of the surgery. The next day, I just don't know what it was. It was just the mixture of anesthesia, the mixture of a couple of other things that I took. I had taken some CBD. I had some coffee, caffeine, shit like that. I was eating sugar. Imagine recovering.
Little
Can I do
mushrooms.
coke? Is that cool?
Can I spike my heart rate? To
yeah,
like
can I just like kill
400
myself
beats
right
per
here?
minute?
I had one of the worst anxiety attacks I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was just from the surgery and all that. I think it was just a culmination of the last 8 months, 6 months of just.
It's you putting off everything, and then finally you're like forced
To
not,
sit
not that you didn't want to, you just
and to sit
couldn't.
and chill.
And to just sit and, like I said, just like that sigh of quote unquote relief of
Yeah.
just like, okay, all these things are happening, and finally, and then it's just like,
And the realization of Kenji's health issues and
Yeah.
my own health issues
Yeah.
and my mom. And I keep saying I think, God damn, I got to stop that. And I'm trying to not to say like and I think and all these different
the
buzzwords.
worst.
They're just stupid. And then I'm very close with my mom. And I know you are as well with your mom. So
Yup.
to have the thought process and realization that, she's in her 60s. She's, I'm going to be in her 70s in under 10 years. Life, you're over 30. You're not old, but you're not young. And life just kind of weighs on you. And you have these realizations that things aren't going to always be the same, like 10, 15 years, Kenji's not going to be here, 10, 15 years. So my grandmother probably won't be here. My grandfather died right during COVID. There's a lot of these things that you start to think about, and now you're thinking about the other side, trying to grind and get a bag and work for yourself and handle everything and be the accounting department and be the billing department and be the big boss, big swinging dick guy that's making all these big deals and get the podcast clips out and work with your clients and get everything, and all that. And you miss out on the
that's what I was going to say.
The personal
it's
side
like
of
the
things.
CEO. It's like a bajillionaire. Yes, that's a real form of currency. That's a real number. There's like the multi-million billionaire dude, or chick, whatever, CEO of a company, top floor, penthouse, whatever, all the shit. They go through life on their deathbed. Tell us about your life, or what's one thing you wish you would have done. Like, I feel like 10 out of 10 times it's, I wish I would have spent more time with my family. I wish I would have slowed down. I wish I would have taken a breath and actually enjoyed this life that I've created for myself. And like, yeah, dude, life happens fast and it can be gone.
blink of an eye, man.
Yeah,
Blink of
yeah.
an
Happened to my best friend.
blink, dude. We've all lost people, and it's so sudden, so scary, so shocking. One of those early realizations of exactly what you said when I was selling home theater systems and I was in the Hamptons selling to the top 1% of human beings on this planet.
Yeah.
You'd go out there and you would start talking about maybe you're doing a service call or installing stuff, what have you. You'd go out there and you would see the wife and the kids. Husband's not around.
Nope.
And I'd ask the owner of the company, because he was the one that sold the equipment, maybe, if it was his client. I'd say, where's the husband? Oh, he works in the city as a stockbroker or a hedge fund manager, this and that. He doesn't even come out here.
Yeah, he's like never there.
So it's great that they get to enjoy it, but your kids are growing up, your wife is getting older, you know, she's probably feeling neglected in certain ways because you're never around.
And that's where
the money is
happen,
fantastic.
like, yeah.
The money is fantastic, you know, to build generational wealth and to be able to have your children well off long after you're gone, you know, and set them up for mental success, and not for handouts, but for hard work. And this is the payoff from that hard work. But you didn't get to enjoy the people that you were around when it mattered most.
Yeah.
You know, it's depressing, to be honest with you, to think about things like that. It's really depressing, and that's any industry.
And
that's in, you know, you dedicate all of your time and life to something that maybe it makes a difference in the long run, and maybe, you know, you get that marble statue made out of you at the end of your life because of all the things that you've accomplished and conquered as a businessman. But I heard this quote, I forget who it was from, but not everybody has what it takes to be the owner.
That's a good, yeah.
Not everybody has what it takes to be the owner.
I agree. You can't teach some things.
There's a lot that rides on an owner's shoulders.
Oh, 1,000%.
And there's a lot of sacrifices, and there's a lot of things. You were talking about some of the things that you've realized in terms of work-life balance.
Yeah.
I used to edit all weekend. I used to edit all night. Bro, I cut it off. I'm done.
Also cut it
I
off
do not
now.
do that shit anymore.
I also cut it off after like 9
I don't
o'clock.
care. If a client doesn't understand that after my workday, let's say it's until 8, 9 o'clock. After that, yo, I am done. I don't want to hear from you.
Yeah.
You can hit me up. I will hit you up tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this. Even on the weekends. I used to edit the entire fucking weekend, not stop, shoots, edits, everything on the weekends.
Same.
I don't do that anymore. I can't mentally fathom it to just be grinding. And some dudes can do that.
In this,
But then they fucking drop from a clot in their heart because they're so fucking overworked and tired.
and this is going to be something that I hope every single person who ever hires any creative person hears. And you put this out as a clip, or I will, or whatever, but I'm going to look right down the barrel here. Creators are human beings. They're not just a tool. And I will say it again. Creators are human beings. They are not just a tool. And this goes to what you just said. People they'll hit you up 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock. Yo, can I get this edit? Can I get a revision? Can I get X, Y, and Z, so on and so forth? Am I fucking calling you? Is your boss calling you at 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night saying, yo, let me get this? No. So
And if they are, you're sitting there going, fuck you, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
So why is it okay for you to do that to someone like myself, to a creative person? It's like, yeah, this is our job. Yeah, we love it. Yeah, we're good at what we do. But at the same time, I am a person. Respect me as a person first and as a professional second.
Human beings, man.
Absolutely.
It goes back to just being a good human being.
Yeah.
It's on my dating app. It's on my dating profile. Just be a good human. Be a good fucking human. And that I hate cilantro. But be a good human. That's all I ask in
No
life.
way, mine says I hate onions.
You didn't you're glad I switched that bagel up on you. From the egg everything.
Regular
I
egg
christened
bagel,
him
please.
the Long Island way. We got bagels, egg sandwich,
Bagels.
and coffee. We did all of that.
Coffee.
But yeah, I think listen, we could do fucking 50 episodes on just mental health and talk to specifically to creators, you know, because there is so many talking points, especially on that.
Yeah.
And life is tough. Life is tough for everybody.
Yeah.
I say this constantly. You don't know the
What someone
battle
else
that
is
somebody
going
is going
through.
through. And, you know, especially now, financially, just everything going on in the world, it's not easy for anybody. You know, CEOs are bleeding and hemorrhaging as well because the lifestyle that they're used to, unless they're the ones that are just fist fucking everybody and oh yeah, it's because of inflation we had to raise our prices on necessity items. You know, everybody's hurting.
Yeah.
And you just have to have some compassion for your fellow man. Now, if that person's an asshole, fuck them and don't come near me. But generally, it doesn't take much to just smile, wave, say hey. I see people I walk all over my town. There's a little old guy I see almost every morning. And I think about like as if I was 40, 50 years down the line and I still lived in Huntington and maybe not at the end of my life, but Close.
Got a 1 foot.
You know, and I'm walking around. I used to walk around here with Kenji as a younger guy. Got my first apartment here. He looks like a local that just would be there and just loved where he lived and just never left, which is okay. And I see him, and I make a point every time we walk past each other. Hey, good morning, sir. I hope you have a great day.
Yeah.
You know, because how many people probably stop him and say, hey, good morning. I hope you have a fantastic day. Smile at him and wave. They probably just ignore him and walk right past him.
Yeah, he's a phantom.
Yeah, they just say he's an invisible ghost and he's already dead. And maybe he doesn't have any family.
Yeah.
Maybe he's alone. Maybe he's by himself. Maybe this is his time because he's up super early and he just wants to just be out and see faces. Mm-hmm. You know, COVID took 4 years from our fucking lives.
It's wild to think about.
It's so crazy, man. They took that much time from us.
Yeah.
And there are still people that can't get over it. You know, you can make fun of them. You can do it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
I let everybody just do your own thing. If you're comfortable being, you know, still scared, it is what it is. That's how you want to live your life. That's fine.
Yeah.
But you just have to show some love because for a long time, in the beginning especially, we couldn't see the end of the tunnel. There was no end to the tunnel. And money was hard. The government and just life, there was so much that was thrown into this the last couple of years of stressors.
It was just so much uncertainty.
And uncertainty is tough because I'm somebody that loves a schedule and I love to know what's coming.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the things and challenges that I've had to deal with. I don't think. I know. It's gonna be that's gonna be the episode
That's your
name.
New thing.
I know. I don't think.
I know. I don't think.
That's been one of my challenges. Being an entrepreneur is being okay somewhat with the uncertainty. Mm-hmm. Sitting there going, you know, next month isn't really that busy. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then all of a sudden, just everything comes in. It's been like that since I started. Everything
it's been like that for almost 10 years for me.
Yeah. So you know, you sit there and you worry about things. You worry about money, like this dinner, the Golden Spoon, this secret society thing that I'm going to be invited to for next week.
Yeah.
Got to spend the loot to get into it.
Yeah.
So you sit there and you go,
takes money to make money.
Takes money to make money. These are the connections that I need to continue to be successful and branch out, just as I branched out from just doing fitness shit. So I guess the moral of what I was ranting on just now. See, you listen to the podcast and you understand, but like when you're here, you actually understand how we really do segment into 1,000,001 different topics.
Yeah.
You know, to just segue into it, just life is hard for everybody. Be a good human being. Be a good human being to people that you're dating. Be a good human being to your family members. No one lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. Things are ever changing. And you have to be able to just sit back and enjoy the moment. And it's so hard for me to do. And I want you to talk because I'm hogging the airwaves.
Oh,
but
you're fine, man. That's part of this. Open
one of the
dialogue.
things that I had told my group of friends, it was the summer before COVID. We all were nautical cuisine. We were all out on my buddy's boat every single weekend, going to Fire Island, having a fucking blast, drinking. I was in sick shape. We were drinking. We were hanging out. Just
Carefree.
No bullshit.
Carefree.
No girls. No. We were just the boys were having a time.
The boys of summer.
And one day we all jumped into the water, and I get chills thinking about it, man. We all jumped into the water. I had just lost my dog a couple of weeks prior. So I was trying to have some fun and enjoy myself, and my response to all the guys was, I said, take this in and enjoy this moment because tomorrow it's a memory. And 3, 4, 5, 6, 20 years from now, we're going to look back at how fucking studdish and how much fun we had during that summer and how we wish that we just relished it a little bit more and took the time to actually enjoy it. It goes by quick, man, because
I'm into that.
That was summer of 2019, and we are rolling into 2023 summer. It's fucking crazy, man. And before
to my knowledge, it hasn't happened since.
Has not happened since.
I know because I've been waiting for it to happen, so I can come up and enjoy some of that.
My buddy who owned the boat, literally the next summer, started dating a chick. She had all her friends come through on the boat, which is cool, man. Listen, dude, if I get an invite on a boat, I am blessed. Thank you. I'm not somebody that says you need to invite me every weekend on your boat. It's your boat. You tell me when you want me to come through, I'll come through.
Yeah.
It's not my boat. I don't pay anything on that thing. I throw money, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But he got with her. She got pregnant. They have a kid now. Like, he got a boat again last summer. Mm-hmm. From what I understand, it wasn't the same. Like, it's not. I didn't get to go on it. I was too busy. I was dealing with health shit. That's it, man. That summer is gone. 2019 summer.
And it happens.
It
that
happened
fast.
like that. Bro, it's
That
going to be
fast.
fucking Christmas when we blink our eyes, dude.
I know.
The rest of this year is going to go by so crazy. I got to be in Ohio next month for the Arnold. I got to be in Germany in April
For FIBO.
for FIBO. I have some really cool projects cooking up potentially with, I can't even say it, but don't worry about it.
We'll talk.
I'll talk about you. I'll talk about it afterwards.
Yeah.
But it's just, you have to be able to enjoy things. And, you know, for those that know, Kenji is epileptic, I guess, is the terminology for something that he's going through and that he has. And it's fucking upsetting, man. I cry. It's tough. He had an episode a couple of days ago. It's been 5 months, about 5 months, 5 months since he had a seizure. And then he had one the other day when I was at home for lunch.
Yeah.
And it's tough, man. So I got to, like I said, whether I have 5, whether I have 2, whether I have 10 years left with Kenji, I got to enjoy them. And I got to understand that, you know, he has saved me and given me so much to appreciate in life. It's just about living in the moment when it comes down to it. Just like dogs do. Dogs live in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Short. If I had a drink, I'd cheers you.
Yeah, I mean, we got the Macallan in there, but...
Not a big Scotch guy.
Really?
I don't like the smokiness of Scotch. Big whiskey bourbon guy, but just not a...
That one was really good.
The Macallan 12-year?
Really good.
I've had it.
The cherry oak cask.
I mean, I've poured up.
Yeah, but we're gonna go to the gym after this. Can't
Poured
be. By the way, side note, did you see that?
I did see that.
The black.
I did see
yeah,
it.
yo, the fucking black horse.
Bethpage black horse.
Bethpage
We're
Black,
gonna play
shouts.
that. We're gonna play that.
Dude, I'm waiting for somebody to comment on that on the TikTok clips and shit like that. I'm waiting for somebody to go, "Yo, Bethpage Black, like that's the course."
If Evan watches this, he will comment on that.
That's
He's
sick,
like, "Oh,
man.
I see that sun in the background." Yeah. So,
So we've been going for an hour. We haven't even fucking talked about you, Zach.
we've talked kind of, but yeah.
So the way that you and I met was at Sony Kando and think about this, dude, 2018.
Wow.
Fucking nuts. So we met at Sony Kando in 2018.
Is that what year it was? I feel
believe
like
so.
it was.
No,
I think it was before that.
No, I don't
Might have
think so.
been 2017.
because I was with my ex in 2017. 2018, I quit my job. We were broken up. I quit my job. I went to Colorado to shoot for Under Armour with my buddy Pete.
Lacrosse
He brought
stuff?
me out there for the lacrosse stuff.
That's right,
And then the
okay.
next month was Kando, and I was super nervous about money. My mom said, go, have fun, go do your thing,
Nice.
this and that. And then I went out there, met you guys, won that 70 to 200 lens, and everyone was tight at me.
Dog, I hate you. Still to this day. I mean, I won a fucking 50 millimeter, but still, I was
That's
like,
fire.
I already had one.
Okay,
So yeah, I was like, oh, I want that 70-200, and they're just like, man, I don't. And I remember you were just like, man, I don't want that fucking whatever.
Bro, they
I don't
brought
want
the
that
lens
piece
out.
of shit. And
They
then
brought the lens out. I leaned into Hans, and I went like this. I went, they go, we got this 70 to 200 G Master, and I heard everybody like fucking
yeah, come on, just salivate.
just fucking puckering their lips and
Oh,
shit. I'm
yeah,
like,
dude.
what are these fucking nerds talking about? And I'm sitting here and I look, and I was giving the dudes from Japan, I was giving the Sony techs shit the entire trip.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm like, yo, why do you guys paint it white? It looks so bad.
I don't want that ugly ass lens.
And I said to Hans, I said, yo, man, that's an ugly ass lens. And they
And
go,
the winner is
Nicky Rizzles. I said, but that's my ugly lens. I did a little dance up
fucking
there.
walking up there like you just got called up to the Price is Right. Like, yeah,
Woo,
get up there
woo.
and you're just like,
Yeah,
Spike.
everybody was fucking pissing themselves.
oh, dude, that was great. That was a good time, man. That was such a And who knew? I mean, it kind of goes back to being present and everything that's going on. Beautiful place in Monterey, California.
Crazy.
Love that place. Some good golf out there, actually. They hold
Yes.
a couple tournaments out there. But yeah, I mean, that was crazy, man. And then who'd have thought? What did you say? 2018. 5 years later, still kicking it.
Yeah, well, I visited you later that year.
Was it that year? Was it?
I think it was later that year because I still was broken up with my ex. These are like the way that I remember
Yeah, I'm
timestamps,
dude. I'm the
exes
worst
and
when it
shit
comes
like
to this
that.
kind of stuff. I'm like, where did I live at that time? And even then, I'm like, I don't know what fucking year it was.
Yeah, dude, it was
like
2018 'cause I had
it was
started-
the other day. I say the other day, and it was like 9 years ago. I'm like, oh, it was the other day, and they're like, no, that's
Blink
not,
of an
that's not
eye,
right.
dude.
Oh, for real.
But yeah, it was. I went and visited you in Austin. Mm-hmm. We had a dope time down there.
Got
Loved
after
it. A lot
There
of
was
fun.
another Sony event when you were in town.
Yes.
It was like a portrait workshop or something.
Yep.
Or I don't know what the event was, but there was a Sony event that happened when you were in town. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. You might as well come down for this. And then you did, and that was great. Took
Had a
some
ball.
photos,
We had a good time.
Yeah.
And then we've just stayed in touch, man. FaceTiming constantly, hitting each other up. sharing work with one another, supporting one another. Dude, you're always driving somewhere, supporting the podcast. I always appreciate the shouts.
Yeah.
You know, when I started working with Rain, you shouting Rain out and shit like that. It helps, man. Listen, it's just you fuck with one another and you.
It's energy.
It's an energy thing.
It's
That's
an
what it
equal
is.
energy exchange between one another.
So, on the topic of Josh Wiseman,
Ooh.
JT Wise guy.
Ooh. It's another beautiful day right here in Roslyn. Where the fuck are we?
Roslyn, New York. Roslyn, New York on Long Island.
Oh, man.
I want to get into just, you know, you grew up in California, you play basketball, you're a musician, you're a drummer, you're now venturing into tattoo artistry, you're a shooter, you're a good human being, man, and
Thank
just
you.
somebody who has experienced a lot of different walks of life. So,
Yes, many things.
how was it? What was it like living in California? You were young then.
Yeah, I lived in California until I was 8, Central California, and then my mom and I, we moved to Florida. I always say I'm from there. Grew up in Northeast Florida by Jacksonville, basically southern Georgia. If you look at a map, there's like a little cutout of Florida where Georgia kind of dips into it, and we lived right under that. Really small town, and yeah, grew up there. I mean, moved a couple times. I moved in the 8th grade. I lived in Georgia.
Tilt that mic down.
Down this way.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Moved to Georgia when I was in the 8th grade. Went to a predominantly black school, so that's always interesting. Obviously, playing basketball and being white.
Token white kid.
Always, man, always. But the white kid that like actually played and didn't just sit on the bench because his parents were like a booster or something, which we had a few of those, which was really funny. But yeah, lived in Georgia the 8th grade, and then back to Florida freshman year, and then my sophomore year we moved to Oregon. My grandma had a stroke, and my mom was like, "Yo, we got to go," and I was like, "Fine." Hated every second of it. Moved to Oregon, and then just every single day I was just like, "Can we go back? Can we go back? Can we go back?" Junior year, moved back to Florida. I was like, we can't keep bouncing me around like this.
How was Oregon?
It was, I mean, in retrospect, it was kind of cool. I mean,
Pacific Northwest, right? That's what you're talking about.
Yeah,
The Pacific
yeah.
Northwest is somewhere that
It's
I've
gorgeous.
really wanted to like experience and visit and go.
Photograph and video and
You know
do
what?
all the things.
I-
Even if you
we've
just,
talked about this. I don't really like doing landscape shit.
but still, just to like, even if you just do it on your phone,
Yeah.
just to like immortalize those moments, as gay as that sounds or as dumb as that sounds, of just like, this is for me, and like that's important too. You know what I mean? Like I do that all the time when I'm like driving thousands of miles, which I'm currently doing in this moment. When I drive thousands of miles across the country instead of fly, just to experience new things, new places, meet new people, see cool shit, bring my cat with me, and just like spend time with myself. That's like my recharge time where I can kind of, fill my cup back up after emptying it out for everybody. It's like being able to, it's just being able to like get on the road and do these sorts of things and be able to have those moments for myself, driving all the way through the night and then seeing the sun like, peak up over a hilltop or something and just like pull over, sit on the top of my car or something and just like sit there for a minute and just be in the silence and the calmness and the, cars going by and, things like that. It's great. But yeah, so Oregon was awesome in retrospect, but back then I said I hated every second of it just so I could get back to Florida, get back to my coaching staff. Junior year, we get back, summer going into my junior year, my grandma had another stroke. So my mom was like, we have to go back. And I was like, you're going back, I'm going to stay here. So I lived with my assistant basketball coach, Drew. If you watch this, shout out to you. Love you guys. Drew and Tiff, his wife, and their little son, Dawson. At the time, Dawson was 2. And so I lived with them my junior and senior year of high school, and the rest is kind of history. I mean, I've lived in a ton of different places, and the journey to get to where I'm at now with photo, video, doing this for almost a decade is pretty wild. I played basketball in Europe. I went to a small college in Florida, Santa Fe College. I got recruited by a ton of schools, but everyone was just kind of late to pulling the trigger, or I didn't play at a big enough high school or whatever. But then I went to a smaller school out in Oregon to be closer to my mom. And then from there, played basketball in Germany. A couple years. It was tight. I mean, as cool.
Germany was cool?
It was cool, man.
What part of Germany was it?
Berlin.
Okay, so I have to go to Berlin.
For FIBO.
Yeah, well, FIBO is going to be in Cologne.
Okay.
But Berlin, we may do some stuff with Gold's Gym up there.
It's sick.
Yeah.
You'll love it.
Because they have the biggest, most eco-friendly, craziest Gold's Gym on the planet in Berlin now. Because I believe, and I could be mistaken, But the Gold's Gym franchise and just the corporate entity was purchased by a German company during COVID.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Very cool. I got to show you.
Interesting.
Before we continue, I want to show you the picture. It's
That'd be
sick.
rad.
Let's see.
Yeah, while you're looking that up, I'm grabbing another one of these.
Oh, you grabbing another one, huh? Me. Which one we going with now? Just a third one today. You need to take a break from caffeine.
All right. We like to address my caffeine. We won't call it an addiction, but
I'll call it an addiction.
it is an
crack it.
addiction.
Gorgeous. Look at this fucking place.
Let's check this thing out.
Yeah,
my
swipe
God.
it. Swipe it. Swipe it.
I'll fucking swipe it. Swipe or no
Do you see the
swiping.
trees next to the cardio?
Dude, that... Oh my gosh.
Fire.
Just producing fresh oxygen for you as you're just... I don't even know.
I need it.
Carbon dioxide and
I
all
don't
this
want
stuff.
it. I don't want it. I need
need
it. I need it. It's me with the red. Well, now the FX6.
Well, hey, I mean, I told you I'd sell you my red.
You did tell me that, but
It's at the house.
it is at the house. Just leave it. I'll just
I'm
rent it
gonna
from
put
you
it next to your bed.
for $20. That's all I got. Take it or leave it. So
Tight. Yeah. Cool. Let's do it.
So I got to go to Berlin. That's the moral of the story. So I got to potentially go to Berlin. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Cologne, Germany would be sick. That's like a staple, by the way. The limeade. That's a solid flavor.
It's a good one. The new flavor's great.
Yes.
Yeah, no, Berlin was rad. And then after that, so I hurt my knee, came back to the States, had knee surgery, planned on going back to school. And because I just pieced out of college and was just like, this ain't for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just bored, man. School's not for everybody. It's for some people, but it's not for me. I had good grades, straight A student, great test scores, whatever. But yeah, so I came back, wanted to go back to school, started to go back to school, thought about playing again, and then mom needed help, dropped out of school, had to be a man. My mom's my best friend, just like Karen's your
Facts.
best friend, so you had to grow up. I was forced to grow up pretty quickly. It's just me and my mom. So I was like, all right, cool, easy decision. And at that point in time, it was kind of catapulting me into this entrepreneurial journey, essentially. So after that, I started playing music full time, cut a couple albums. I mean, this was years ago, 8, 9, 10 years ago almost. Cut a couple albums. And then...
And you played what?
I played drums, guitar, bass, piano, sing, and then mix, master, audio engineer.
What was the
things.
What was the favorite thing that you play?
Drums is probably my favorite and the thing I'm most comfortable on. But if you hand me a guitar, I can just whatever.
Riff it up.
I can sit down at a piano and just play something and figure something out. On
Well,
the fly.
on the way to Bev's after this, we're gonna be ripping that Slash song again.
Dog, that song.
Anyway, continue.
Copyright. If we could play that, that'd be so sick.
So fire.
Slash is the man. But no, so I did that, and this kind of it all comes full circle into what I do now with photo video, just like you do. But when I started playing music, I would film, and it was on a shitty. I think the camera was called a Bloggy, and it was from Sony. You gonna look it up?
Yeah, keep talking. Listen.
It's an all-in-one camera with a little USB, it almost you press a button and a little USB thing pops out of it, like a keychain, and then you plug it into your computer like that. But I think it shot in 720. Excuse me. And so I would film
This thing?
Bloggy, IE. Click the suggested. So I'd film on that, and I would film. That looks right. Yes, it wasn't the blue one though. It was
looks
gray.
right.
It was gray. Yeah.
$691 this dude on eBay wants for it.
Sheesh! I should have kept mine.
Me.
Yeah, not worth that. I can promise you that much.
Had the USB stick built in?
That's literally the same. That's the one.
Sick.
Except mine was gray. But yeah, so I would film the recording process, songwriting process, live performances whenever I'd play at casinos or wine walks or whatever. I had a 3-hour set that I had just kind of originals, covers, so on and so forth. And then I did, a couple albums with originals, things like that, and would film that process, and would start filming cover songs, post it on YouTube, this and that. I think at the time I had 23,000 subs on YouTube.
Damn, love that.
Which is crazy. And this was years ago when YouTube was just just starting to hit
edging
that.
out.
Just starting to hit
Imagine
that
you just
bell
kept
curve.
it going.
Oh my god, dude! I
Loot.
don't even want to talk about it. But I'm
Loot.
going to.
You would have had a custom bus made. You wouldn't even have to have built it yourself.
Unreal, dude.
Could have got a Jason Momoa bus.
Jason, I would love to work with Jason Momoa. But yeah, so I did that, and then decided I didn't want to play music anymore. So I launched a couple apparel brands. First one failed miserably. And for anybody out there who's watching who starts business, know that you are going to fail, but it's only a true failure if you don't learn something from it. So always try and find a silver lining and take notes, write things down, but just know that those failures are necessary in order for you to progress forward, and you will take a step forward and 2 or 3 steps back from time to time, but that's okay. Perfectly normal. Stay the course and just learn from your mistakes, bottom line. So first one failed miserably, but I still had a camera on it all the time, and at this point, my mom had gotten me a Canon Rebel T3i.
I almost bought one. My first camera.
Everyone's like first camera, or T2i, or
I almost
whatever.
bought one before I got the Sony.
That was my first like real camera, and so I had one of those and was still doing the same thing, filming the process of everything. Design. I taught myself how to graphic design. I taught myself how to screen print. I taught like everything. It was one of those things where I didn't have much money growing up, so utilizing my resources has become a vital part of my life, and I've done it for my entire life, and I'm very thankful for that skill that I possess.
Maximizing
because
what you
it's
have.
ridiculous. Like I love being able to literally learn anything that I want to, especially with the internet and people and social media, just everything. Utilize your resources, super important. So I had a camera on that. Second company launched, did pretty well to the point where I had athletes, would travel, would film short stories. So I was learning how to drive a narrative with visuals and product photography, kind of going to wearing all the hats. Again, like I'm designing the stuff.
You didn't realize at first, but you look back on it, you start realizing that you just start stacking all the hats.
Dude,
you're like, oh,
so many hats. Doug Dimmadome of hats. You know who that is? Fairly
No,
Odd Parents?
don't.
Look him up right now.
Doug Dimmadome?
Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome. Stop it. Stop it. You have to know who this is.
Oh, yeah.
With the giant, the giant hat.
Jerry Jones.
Yes. Yes, that is Jerry Jones to a T. It basically
Yeah.
Have you heard the rap like remix of that? Of him saying that?
No.
All right, well let's do it later. But
I'm saving that photo.
dude, do it. So Jerry Jones. Yup. So through that process, I'm wearing all the hats. I'm designing the stuff. I'm ordering wholesale. I'm, recording this process. I'm telling stories of the brand and why I'm designing the things that I'm designing and going from there. And then it turned into more people asking me, oh, I see that, because I bring the camera everywhere. Literally, you would thought I was vlogging all the time, but back then I didn't know what the hell that was. So it was just kind of like short videos of like, hey, this is what I'm doing, but I didn't know what the term vlog even meant until eventually years later I found out who Casey Neistat was, like everyone else does, the father of vlogging essentially, and I'm just like, oh damn, like I should have been doing this.
Talk about burnout with him.
Dude, oh my gosh. And I mean, you do anything for that long every single day, I mean, you're going to get burnt out. I mean, that dude was doing the damn thing, which was crazy. So I had people ask me, hey, can you take family photos? Can you do, have a small business or wedding or whatever? I need pictures for my website for X, Y, and Z. And I actually have a really funny story about like my first paid shoot that was like paid well. Like my first 4 figures, so like over $1,000 shoot. We'll get to that. Remind me.
Yeah, we'll circle back.
So I had a lot of people start to ask me that. And I'd be like, sure. Like, do you have a family? Do you have money? Well, I got a camera. Like, let's do this. A couple $100 here and there, whatever. And I'm like, oh, cool. I'm starting to make a little money on the weekends. And I'm not having to put as much effort and energy into this. Go out for a couple hours, shoot some photos, change an outfit. Good to go.
Sure.
Like, whatever, great. And it's like, all right, I have to sell how many shirts to do what I just did in 2 hours? The math ain't mathin', dog. I was like, this is bullshit. So I was in a kind of pivotal time in my life, and I had moved for a girl. We had gotten engaged, and then it was like all this stuff was happening, and she had a little girl, which like I hope one day I have a child. A girl would be rad, but also my hair would turn fucking gray.
I'm cool with having a son or a daughter,
Dude,
as long as they're healthy.
I would love to have
all that matters to me.
It would be so sick. But yeah, so it was like, all right, now I'm like a dad, basically. you know, for a little while. And it's like, okay. And she was a fitness competitor. So, like, of course, she wore all the stuff. And I would, like, take photos of her and this and that. So I was like, all right, awesome. Love that. And then, but also she was vegan. So sorry. But I was like,
Can't eat
why do
around
we
you.
have to have 2 sets of everything?
Yeah.
She wouldn't even let knives touch anything, even if I washed it.
Oh, nah. It's OD. It's OD. Go get your own apartment. I'm done with this.
Out of here.
Nah, be good.
Yeah,
Down
so
the street.
anyway.
Remember I dated that chick? I dated the vegan right after I hung out with you.
Yes.
Dude, all we did
Was forage in the woods?
all we did was have sex and eat edamame. It was crazy, man.
Oh, my God.
All we did, man. Dude, it was nutty. All we would do, sex, edamame, and those scuba gummies from Trader Joe's.
Oh, my God.
That's it. She'd be like, yo, you hungry? I'm like, yeah, I'm hungry.
Giant
I got
bowl of
edamame.
edamame.
I'm like, fuck, man, I don't want any more of this
Here's
shit.
some edamame
I
and
would
tofu.
order, dude. I would actually order. She'd go to sleep. I would order from the restaurant in town. I'd order like sliders and shit, and they would just get delivered to the house.
You just go eat them in the
I would just
bathroom
be
like a
eating
fucking
them. I'd be eating them
gremlin.
downstairs like a fucking creep. Yeah, just like meat, huh? Dude, come back. I'd have to brush the barbecue sauce out of my teeth.
God.
I'd be like, oh, that last serving of greens really filled me up. A hoof comes out. Yo, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, they told me it was impossible meat, but fuck, I don't know what the hell's going on.
It was crazy. I wonder. I really do. I really wonder to this day if she's eaten meat since we last spoke.
Dude, who knows, man?
I'm so curious. Like,
That's-
I don't talk to my exes. I don't want anything to do with it. I know we're in very different paths of that.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with them. Not
Yeah.
because I hate them, just because that was a good chapter of my life or bad
Cool,
chapter,
sit
whatever
tight.
it is. Have a
Outta
good
here.
one. Stay over there. I don't
Yeah.
need you in the next chapter.
Yeah.
I just don't need it. So I'm just so curious if she caved and ate meat because that pantry was bare. It was
Woof.
barren. You'd open it up and the spiders were dying. Okay.
Don't love that.
Yeah. Anyway, go on. You live with a vegan.
Yeah, dude. Woof, woof. Yeah, so anyway, so that fell apart and for obvious reasons and other obvious reasons that so she left me for a woman.
Oh.
Super tight. I mean, I know I look like a woman with this hair, but you know, come on, dog. The square peg doesn't fit in the round hole. Anyway, so one of my athletes just snort.
Yeah.
My mom snorts.
It's rare. Like
What's the
you'll-
Miss Piggy thing we've been listening to?
do it for you, Kermit.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
Okay, so one of my athletes lived in Austin and she was like, "Hey, come down, visit." I was pretty close with her, so she was like, "Me and my boyfriend will show you a good time, show you around the city, this and that." And that was my first. I'd never been to Austin before. I had years prior because I lived in San Antonio for like 6 months, and I was like, "Fuck this place, I'm
San
outta
Antonio
here."
sucks.
Oh god, horrible.
Never been.
Don't. Alamo. That's all you need to know.
Cool.
Done. Out of here. Alamo Riverwalk.
I've heard of the Riverwalk.
I mean, the food is pretty good, but that's it. So like,
New York, good.
no.
Okay.
It's different food. Obviously, it's different food culture, like up here versus down
Yeah,
there.
but I could bring you to a Spanish area, and we can go hit the bodega, and the food slaps. Crazy.
Trust me, I don't doubt it. But yeah, so anyway, I hadn't really been to Austin before that I could remember, just because most of the times we went up there was just like to party and just get fucked up. So came down, was down for 10 days, and this is when I was like, all right, I think I'm going to do this full time. Show me a sign. Like, I need something. So the girl wanted to hire me as her full-time shooter to do like photo, video, basically just follow her around with the camera all the time, create stuff, create contents for her sponsors because she had a ton. At the time, she had like 100K on Instagram, which actually meant something back then. And so through that process, those 10 days, I was introduced to like 4 different gyms, 5 different gyms. We basically like worked out at a different gym almost every day. So I ended up signing retainer contracts with 3 CrossFit gyms or boxes, whatever. And I moved to Austin like a month later. And like the rest is kind of history, essentially, because that's when I went full time. Stayed with her for a bit. Her and I had a big falling out. And then after that, it was just like, all right, well, now I'm on my own. got my start in the fitness industry, similar to how you did. Shot at the Arnold, Olympia. I've been published in Men's Health, which has been pretty cool process. I've been published as a photographer and as an author, which is really rad, cool. Which was pretty cool. It was a big achievement for me.
MD is where I've been published.
Nice. Oh, yeah, muscular development, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so like through that process, it was just that everything kind of brought me to being creative in some capacity, which I never thought that I would do because I was always an athlete growing up. And then from there, I wanted to do more things, ventured into like the real estate realm when it came to filming. And then that turned into luxury real estate where it was like really fancy shit. And that turned into like land development and like big plots of like land and like thousands of acres where we go out and like stay the night on some of these properties. And it's like awesome. And then that, grew into just meeting the right people, right place at the right time, getting invited to the right dinners and, shaking hands and showing face and going to these things that I really didn't want to go to because I was like, I have to edit, but I really need to go to these things if I want to grow this business. And then it kind of grew into, making the connections that I had and been able to shoot with like really big celebrities and really major brands. And obviously, I could talk more about that process, but it's all about who you know ultimately at the end of the day. So it's just kind of like, yeah, but it's grew into, me doing this for almost 10 years, which is fucking crazy. And, I wrote a book a couple years ago. I have a school bus that I'm renovating into an RV. I've started learning how to tattoo and draw and design, even though I have a little bit of a design background with the clothing stuff. So Procreate is like my best friend right now. I've tattooed like 4 people, which has been a fun process, a very humbling process at that. I'm pitching a TV show to Netflix hopefully in the next couple months and could change mine and my mom's life, man. So a lot of things are happening currently in my world. Yeah.
All amazing stuff.
Yeah.
I've been talking to you about Procreate. I've been trying to get into drawing. I can barely draw a stick figure, so I'm trying to harness this and get better with drawing and get that artistic side of things. Mm-hmm. But I told you I'm trying to do the 3D printing. I don't have a 3D printer currently, but I'm trying to teach myself the software on the iPad, Nomad.
That would probably be the process, honestly. But also, I feel like with something like that, it would help to have one, even if it wasn't like a high-end one, but just like get one. That way you can like fuck up a ton, obviously. And just
I
be
will
like, well,
once I start designing things that actually make sense. Once I get past just having a blob on the screen. And
just a circle.
Just a circle with like tits. It looks like a circle with tits. I don't know why. I make tits. It's one big circle.
Love them.
Yeah, they're great. But it's a circle, and for some reason, every time I stretch it out, tits. I'm trying to do other things. So the real reason why I got into trying to do 3D printing was because when I had, and I don't know if I'm going to keep it, it's still in my trunk, when I had the A10 Mini for the live stream, the couple live streams I did, a lot of people online and through YouTube have these stands for it. So these stands that are just identical on both sides, made out of whatever material it's made out of.
Just angle it?
Just to angle it up and hold it in there. So this way it stays elevated and it's not flat on itself.
Yeah.
I looked at it. They're charging $150, $200 for these stands. And they're not even real metal. They're plastic. So you start looking at what utilities can I utilize and teach myself this skill to be able to just make anything I need. Yeah. If I need a holder for gear, or I want to make like a battery charging station, but like section off everything and be able to measure the chargers for the cameras, put them in this. So this way all you got to do is click the battery and they all just stay fixated on the wall. I feel like it has so much.
That's very possible.
I said I feel like again. God damn, bro, shut up. There's so much use and application for something like that. And it's just like when I started doing the photography and video stuff. It's a challenge. Yeah. It's not easy, bro. What we do is very difficult, and people don't get that through their fucking skulls. In every other videographers that start out, clients, just everything. What we do is specialized. And one of the points that I wanted to make before I forget it again is when we were talking about all these different hats that we wear and bring to our clients, next time you're at the movie theater, don't leave. Watch the fucking credits. Take a look at how many names are on that credit just to make an hour and a half, 2-hour movie. Yeah. Now think about everything that we're doing to make compelling content for a 30, 20-minute, 30-minute YouTube video for a client.
Yeah, put that in perspective.
We're just all doing
one person. One person for 30 minutes.
You could see the visual effects team for a movie. It could be 4 pages long of names.
Oh, yeah. Especially for a Marvel movie.
Yeah, they could just be, one guy could just be on a hand. The other guy could be on a face. There's so much that goes into this. So, for me, I just wanted to teach myself another craft. I'd love
Yeah.
to be able to like really draw and get my ideas down on pen and paper and just do it. And the only way that you do it is just getting better at it.
Yeah.
Like my signature is dog shit. I downloaded apps to help you with your signature. Like my signature is
That's
literally
a thing?
Yeah. Just to help draw and learn how the pen needs to move for each shape on cursive and whatnot. Dude, my signature is the saddest thing you've ever seen.
I'm going to see that after this. That's hilarious.
Go get my iPad. Go get my iPad. Get my iPad.
Where's your iPad?
It's in the front pocket of the yeah, it's in the front pocket. It's in front of my laptop. I'm gonna show you right now what I usually, and I'm not exaggerating it to just make a joke.
Yeah.
This is actually how I sign my fucking checks. And it's so stupid that I know nobody could replicate it. Oh,
That's
dude, look,
great.
look, Procreate's up. Tits. Nomad's up, I mean. Tits. All right, let's do it like this.
Oh, wait. I think I took off the smoothing, so it's going to be for real this time. Let's see it.
Is it?
Yeah, it should be.
Okay, yeah. So, like, that's like my signature. It doesn't mean anything.
Oh, my God.
That's not, dude, the N is barely legible.
Mine's also a little better, but not quite as good. Let's see. Let's see what we got here.
And I don't know what I was drawing in there. I was doing something. It's very Easterish.
Very.
Oh, there you go. It
Easterish.
was blown the fuck out. Oh my
It's
God.
just a white screen. All right, here we go. This is my signature. That's mine. The pressure sensitivity kind of fucks that up. But
That's nice. That's nice.
yeah, you can see 2 letters, and everything else inside is squiggly.
Yeah. So I'd like to get better at that. And just,
Yeah.
these are little things that I think,
These
are little things that will help creativity and the process
Yeah.
and transfer itself into the other aspects of my life and my work.
Yeah. I think life is wild, for starters, but it's all about like learning new things. Like I said earlier, my ability to pick up something and learn it is second to none, in my opinion. And a lot of people who are very close to me see what I do and what I'm capable of doing when I see something and I'm like, I could do that. I T-boned somebody last year, like earlier in the year, like March or something, in my 4Runner. And insurance fucked me, and it got canceled a few weeks prior. And I was like, I didn't do that. That didn't happen. Why? So I had to pay for all of it out of my pocket. And through YouTube, asking mechanic friends, I rebuilt the front end myself. And my mom especially, because I am not mechanically inclined at all. And my mom was super impressed, and she was like, dude, that's
So now you can do your own oil
good for
changes.
you.
Now you know.
Yes. Well, I knew how to do that. I know how to change a tire and this and that. But to rebuild the front end of a new vehicle, a 2021 vehicle, all the tech, all the computers, all the pigtails, all the everything, like, what? And then after that, it's like, okay, the prices in Austin are fucking outrageous. I can't afford to live here anymore. I'm going to buy a school bus. And I'm going to turn it into an RV in 120 days. Bah, bah, bah. Shameless plug. 16 episodes on YouTube, JT Wise Guy. But
Go
no.
peep 'em.
Yeah, but no. And gutting it, cutting a giant 15-foot long by 2.5-foot wide hole in the roof structurally to like reinforce it and turn it into a giant skylight, put a subfloor in, insulation, electrical, like 120 volt electrical.
Plumbing.
Haven't gotten to that yet.
Oh, you have nothing plumbing yet?
Super easy though, because I'm getting like an all-in-one unit anyway.
Nice.
Neither here nor there, but basically looking at something, and this is advice to everybody: if you see something you want, fucking go after it.
Just do it.
Absolutely.
Time passes regardless.
Absolutely, just go after it. What do you have to lose other than some time, a little bit of frustration, maybe a little discouragement from time to time? But that's literally with anything. You didn't get to where you are, and you didn't get to be good at the things that you're good at or great at or master at without falling on your face a few times. Lesson.
Facts.
It's a lesson.
Facts.
There's a silver lining in everything. Like I said earlier, if you fail at something, when you fail at something, because you undoubtedly will, regardless of what you're trying to design stuff, and all you can come up with are tits.
Just circle with tits.
Circle with tits.
It's going to be the craziest 3D sculpture ever.
And I can't tattoo a straight line to save
Maybe
my
that's
life.
I'll tell you what, man. Maybe that's my saving. Maybe I just got to 3D print circle with tits, and that'll just blow up like Caw, like the Caw statues.
It could be.
Circle with tits.
Circle with tits. And you just make
They'd be
a
like,
bunch
wow,
of
he's so refined. It's like, I just couldn't make anything else.
It is now fine art because you're
All
going to
the other
value
fine art-
yourself accordingly.
Yeah, all the other fine art people in the art galleries. Oh, his style is so...
It's revolutionary.
It's so revolutionary. I'm just sitting on the side like, I couldn't do anything else. I just made tits.
And here
I don't
we
know.
are.
My brain just wouldn't work.
Oh my God.
Tits.
Just titties. Just Beavis and Butthead thing for sure.
So, obviously getting you to New York was an awesome little treat because you haven't been up north like this.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to doing that to get over here?
Well, driven probably, I would say, somewhere in the ballpark of like 3,000 miles, roughly. Started in Austin, Texas, drove up to Wisconsin, Superior, Wisconsin, to Mont du Lac. From there, drove to about 3 hours east of Quebec City in Canada, and then back to Quebec City for a couple days, and then down to Maine, Lost Valley. It's like a ski park resort, I guess you would call it, ski hill in Maine. And then to Boston for a couple days, and then from there, I'm now making the trek from Boston all the way home, and what do you know it?
Northeast welcomes JT Wise Guy to Long Island.
Here we are. But yeah, so I was on the road filming a documentary for Ice Cross. Used to be called Red Bull Crashed Ice. It's basically 4 dudes on ice skates in full hockey gear with no sticks, racing on a frozen track, downhill with features, jumps, rollers, tabletops. It's a pretty crazy thing. It's pretty fun to watch, and I have a couple of buddies who do that. And over the last few years, I've went on a couple of these trips. Was over in Finland last year. Duloc is a staple. The first year I went, we were there for my birthday, so just raged our fucking faces off with these dudes. And of course, they're all a bunch of hockey guys, and I look like a hockey guy, even though I can barely ice skate at all. So it was just a lot of fun.
Only 4 race at a time?
Yes. So the format is you show up. Once the track is built on Thursday, there's like an open practice for a couple hours. You can just go inspect the track, get a feel for it, take notes if you want to. And then on Friday, you'll have 2 time trial runs, which is just one person. So think of time trial on like Mario Kart or something, where you just try and get the fastest lap time. And that's what you try and do. They're seated accordingly to their time. And then depending on how many races there are on Saturday, they'll start at round of 64, round of 128, whatever. 64, 4 at a time, top 2 from each heat advance until you're left with 4 people, and then you got a winner.
Sick. That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. There's some really sick videos online, actually.
It's tough shit, man. That's not easy.
No.
And it beats on the body.
Yeah.
Are the dudes elbowing and like throwing shit at each
They're
other?
not allowed to do too much, but there is a little bit of
physicality.
There's a little scrubbing going on for sure. Like there's ways to get disqualified. Like there's a lot of the last race up in Maine got pretty heated with a couple guys who like I'm there with that I've been traveling with for the last 3 weeks, and one of them was behind one of the other guys and was holding his line. So he said was holding his line. And they went off this feature, which was a pretty big jump. And because he was holding his line behind him and was drafting, he like checked him, but he didn't extend, but he like checked him enough to just send him off his axis. And they both were in the top 2 in that heat in the round of 32. So they're like, why would you do that? Hit the brakes a little bit. And like, we're both through the next round. Like, why the fuck would you even risk that? So it was like a big thing, like fucking angry, yelling, storming off type of stuff. Like, very awkward van ride for a while, and like back at the Airbnb and shit. And I'm just like, I get it, man. Like you guys are competitors. You want to go out there and do your thing, and you want to win. So
what is the grand prize like?
it used to be like a reasonable prize purse, but the reason for this film is to try and resurrect Ice Cross. Essentially, we're trying to get in the Olympics, Winter X Games, things like that.
X Games would be sick.
Because, dude, is
X Games every year?
Yeah.
When do they happen? Does it happen already?
Summer and winter. So according to that, normally it's like August, September, I think, for summer, and then maybe like February, March for winter.
It's Aspen every year?
They changed the location based on, honestly,
January,
I don't really know
it's already done.
Yeah. So that would be winter. Oh, yeah. It literally just happened. It happened while we were on the road. It happened the first week that we were there.
I got to go to this.
What?
Just to spectate and hang out and party and shit. They party at the X Games.
Oh, my God, do they party at the X Games. I went a long time ago. It was a lot of fun.
Let's go next year.
Yeah, the X Games in Austin 2 years in a row, actually.
Really? For the summer.
I don't think they will anymore. Oh, I'd rather party in the summer than the winter for sure.
I'd rather do the winter ones.
Whatever, man. I've been in minus 50-degree weather with a camera, so I really give a shit less what I'm in because when you're drinking, it ain't cold at all.
It's not cold anymore. Summer X Games 2023.
Mm-hmm. Bing bong. Boing.
I'm only getting the winter.
Then I don't know. It'll happen eventually. But yeah, man, that's how I got here. It's been a long time coming. I mean, last time I saw you was in Austin, I think.
Yeah,
Other than through a 3x5 screen, essentially. And yeah, dude, super pumped to be on here. Thank you for having me. But yeah, man, that's how I got here. I'm very tired.
Yeah, well, you have a long trip back.
Yeah, it's from Boston. It's about 1,900 miles. So I think we're at like 1,600 and some change on the way back, which
And
I'll probably
you're gonna
leave
go
tonight
straight
or tomorrow.
You're going to go straight to Austin from here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wonder what that trip's going to be like. What are they going to bring you through? Let me see. Let me take a look real quick.
Oh, like route?
Yeah.
It'll take me from here to Nashville. And then from Nashville, it's just kind of like a route that goes through
1 day and 2 hours. Actually,
Yeah.
there's 2 ways that it's telling you to.
Yeah. So there's
You can go through Charlotte
Yeah.
and then through Atlanta,
Yeah,
Birmingham,
there's
Jackson.
Yep, there's a lower route. Take me through like New Orleans and shit.
That only adds an extra hour.
Yeah.
There's severe weather warnings.
Tight. Love that. Especially in this
2 weather advisories. Let's see. A flood warning. Prairie and surrounding areas may be affected by flood. Severe thunderstorm. You be all right.
not any worse than driving through like
Hunt and surrounding areas may be affected by
conditions.
severe thunderstorm watch issued by National Weather Service. Whatever.
Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, so are you leaving tonight or are you leaving tomorrow?
I don't know.
You haven't decided
I'll
yet?
Figure it out. Yeah.
Well,
see
he's
how this
3 reigns in.
Let's see how this workout goes.
Well, yeah, I mean, dude, we touched on so much shit. We could talk for another fucking hour and a half.
I'll be back.
Yeah, you'll be back.
I'll call it now.
We'll bust another episode down. We'll call this episode right here. We're definitely gonna go to the X Games, so we're leaving off on that. That'll be a fun fucking trip.
Oh yeah.
I want to do San Diego and hit Torrey Pines.
Yeah.
Want to do Torrey Pines. I want to hit a couple golf courses in Arizona. I want to party out there.
Scottsdale, True North.
I've seen some TikTok videos of some bottle waitresses
some
that I could
pieces.
that I want to just lose my whole life to.
No, not even just that. Some golf girls. That
I need a golf girl.
Lose
I need a golf girl.
Paige Sporanic.
Is that the one that's on all the Sports
Yes.
Illustrated shit?
Yes.
Yeah, she's fantastic. But she's also dating a dude that's fucking 7 foot tall, so I'm out.
I don't think it's that guy. I don't think we're talking about the same person.
Oh, I'm just saying she's probably going to date somebody that's 7 foot tall, so I'm out.
almost there.
So there you go. See? How about I stand on top of you?
We'll just get one big trench coat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, that's great.
I swear, this is authentic. This is real.
I'm just coughing underneath.
But I got to get you to Bev's.
Yes,
we gotta
sir.
We got to go get a motherfucking Keens for my mom.
Yes, sir.
And yo, it was an absolute pleasure.
Dude,
Love
thank
chopping
you
it up
so
with you,
much.
bro. And many more adventures. I'll bring. You know what? When we go on this, maybe the X Games trip, I'll bring the fucking podcast set up with me.
Dude.
We'll bring like 1 or 2 extra mics. And we'll just grab people and start doing interviews and just breaking shit down,
and
hanging
I'll
out.
see what I can do to just get us some access to athletes.
That'd be fun.
And just talk, especially ones that win.
That'd be sick.
Or just ones that don't. Like
Yeah, I'll do it.
anyone.
I'm down for anybody.
Like, yo, you're here.
Once again, energy. Big
Bring it
names,
on.
small names, I
Doesn't
don't
matter.
care.
Yeah.
It don't matter to me. As long as the energy's good and, people, and which everyone has experienced different paths of life and different things in life.
The vibes are high at the
The
X
vibes are
Games.
high, man. That's it. That's what I need.
Everyone, the stoke is real. Everyone's just like, fuck yeah, dog. Like, all the time. I mean, look at this. This is all over the place,
it's
baby.
crazy, man. But episode 43, I believe. Don't be mad if that is not the correct episode. Sorry. I don't think it matters. It's my show. Fuck y'all. Anyway, JT, love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
Appreciate you coming down, chopping it
Absolutely.
up. And on that note, peace.
Bye.